Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Anime Ramble. Today I got for you My Hunter's Guild Chapter 15. We have finally made it. We are back. We caught up. We current. Let's do the damn thing because this is what I've been waiting for, okay? The Matrix of manga is finally back up. It's finally back in action. I mean, chapters 9 through 14 didn't even compare to the heat that we got in chapter 15, and I've been on record saying that the mayor isn't shit. I have been on record saying that he probably wasn't a hunter in the past, and he might actually be working for the enemy. Well, apparently, he's a triple agent of sort, or at least he's coming across as a triple agent, but we're gonna get into that later. What is going on? Well, the book. The pages, what do they all really mean? Alright, we learned that the main thing involving the Hunters Guild is the fact that they are getting together in order to try to eliminate all werewolves. And now that Valu has passed the Hunter's exam, the first thing that he wants to know is the plan in order to kill all of them. We learned that humans that transform into werewolves have a disease known as lycanthrope disease. Alright, hopefully I'm saying that right, but it's a disease in which activates a gene inside of the human that allows them to transform into a werewolf. What I'm getting from this chapter is that they can actively change back and forth between werewolves and their human form. The only thing that we learn from this chapter that permanently sticks them into that werewolf transformation is the very first time that they consume a human. Okay, that's when it becomes truly permanent, or at least that's what it's coming across. This also marks the end of the road for the exam and their journey on the Ironworks. As they arrive at this super secret hunter's facility that apparently isn't on any map, yet there is a literal railroad track that leads straight to it because the Ironworks is traveling by ground. So the enemy could have very easily found this location if they just simply followed the railroad tracks. They didn't have to wait all of this time. They could have honestly have gotten there before Valu and everybody if they just simply went ahead of them. You get what I'm saying? But just before they make their move on the actual main facility, Lycone is gone. Okay, the big alpha werewolf, he's gone. Cinderella, the mayor, they're having a conversation and he's not there. So Cinderella turns to Lycon and was like, Lycon? And he's not there. And the mayor's gone because he used some, I guess a hunter's tool of some kind to spirit himself away. We don't see where he goes immediately, but we find out later that he went and he pops up in front of Valu. We'll get to that later. But Cinderella turns and was like, Lycon? And then she's like, who the fuck is Lycon? And so we learn more about the book, okay? So not only can you change the physical world and events that have happened, but you can also mess with people's memory. So he wrote the alpha werewolf away. He changed Cinderella's memory to where she doesn't remember Lycan, and even Grim is affected by this because her memory is gone, that we learn later in the chapter. Because he is the alpha werewolf, he already had a contingency plan put in place. He wrote a letter, he put a charm, a spell, or some form of magic on the letter, so the letter stayed back, and I guess at some point he gave the letter to Cinderella. Anyway, I'm rambling. The letter informs Cinderella of basically what was erased from her. If you don't see a giant werewolf and you don't know who I am, but you're reading this letter, kill the mayor because he's done something. Flash forward, he comes, he pops up in front of Valu, and Valu's like, yo, is this a dream? Are you a ghost? How are you still here? This is when we get this massive info dump, which is good in this opinion, right? Because this is interesting. This is actually interesting information. His entire death was faked by him, okay? We don't know where he got the body and the bones in order to put on this facade, but he faked his death. Whether or not he's a good guy or a bad guy is still left up to be seen because the bones had to come from somewhere and he was married, or at least gave the perception that he was married to a werewolf. Valu jumps in front of the mayor because everybody's on site at this point. It's like, yo, who is this person? You're not an examinee. We don't know who you are or what you're doing here, and you just popped up. Valu's like, no, this is a mayor. He's family. Don't kill him. The mayor grabs Valu, spirits up another portal, and jettisons right into the Hunters Guild. Put a pin in that real quick. That's going to be important later. Real quick background information on details that we were looking for in the first 7 or 8 chapters of this series. What is really going on with this book? How did the mayor come into the pages? What does it really do? Well, 13 years ago, the mayor ripped 2 pages out of the book. This goes back to what Cinderella said about them having limited space on the pages that they do have. So he did leave the Hunters Guild and he did join the enemy, going back to the double and triple agent plotline. We learned just how limited the space and just how critical the space on the pages truly is. Anything that is written in them becomes canon for the universe. The ability to change current events and future events is massive. Alright, the mayor, he's written people into the universe, he's written people out of the universe, he's altered memories. This true book is like the Death Note 2.0 with Hashirama cells sprinkled on for added effect. It can do almost anything, it's almost limitless, even with just 2 pages. I can only imagine having the entire book at your disposal. Now, I do have some form of speculation as to the mayor and this true book, alright? For whatever reason, I don't know, but I do have to speculate regarding why he did this. I'll save that for the end, but I will say now that if he is over 500 years old, is he really human? Or is he time traveling, and will time travel play some form of key effect in this series as a whole? This goes back to what I was saying earlier about Grimm and her failed memories, and we don't know what he's from. Like I said, this is the Matrix of manga, anything is possible. He said he wrote the need to replace Grimm. This goes back to what I was saying earlier about the mayor potentially being from the future, where Grimm fails the Hunters Guilds in their extermination plan, but we don't know. But what we do know is that this information is being passed to us from 2 people, both of which are located inside of the Hunters Guild in an area of their secret bunker. I believe it's bunker number 7. I have to mention that it's said on page 15 that things will happen that weren't written. So there is an element of free will still in this series. Even if it is written inside of the true book, it's not 100% certain that it's going to occur. It's probably 99% certain that it's going to occur, but not 100. And this is really big because, like I said at the beginning, the mayor is 500 years old, or at the very least traveled back 500 years to the past to write the story in the book. This also ties in because things will happen that weren't written in the book. And this kind of got me thinking, did Valoo have a family? I've already made the comparison to Bleach, where his entire existence isn't his own. Did the mayor write Valoo's entire backstory? Is he even from present that we know of? Or is this going to be a situation like Natsu and the other Dragon Slayers from Fairy Tail, where they think that they existed in the current storyline, they think they existed in the present, but they were really portaled to the present, I think 777 years in the past? Something like that, right? I'm not the biggest Fairy Tail fan, but I remember that. That's kind of the feel that I get from this. Valoo doesn't have parents because his parents aren't in this timeline. Whether he's from the future or the past is left to be seen. Is he the kind of like, what was it, Terminator 2? Was it Terminator 2 where he had to go back in past to save the kid who was gonna be the leader of the revolution or something like that, and he had to protect him because they sent the Terminator into the past to kill the boy so that he wouldn't be able to lead the rebellion in the future? Is this that situation? Grimm, I don't think she's from the future. I think that she's in this timeline. I think that she rose to power and extreme prominence as Grimm of the 100 Cannons, and 13 years in the future, Valoo is born. Grimm is much older. She might be the leader of the Hunters Guild. Something might have happened and Grimm might have died, and because Valoo 13 years in the future is so prominent, they view him as a threat, so they send people to the past to kill him and insert the mayor. And because you can just write anything away inside of the true book, everybody might know who the mayor is, but the mayor might have simply just written everybody to forget him, thus allowing him to work completely undisturbed. I don't know, but I've rambled on long enough. If you made it to the end, thank you. If you're a new post social and smash the subscribe button. Let me know you rock with the content that I put out on the channel. Like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video. Comment on the video your thoughts about what you think is going on, how you think this is gonna happen, what you think is really going on with this true book. Subscribe if you're brand new, and like always, until next time, I'm out.